All right, so today we're learning how to empathize with the artist. Now, I'm being a little trickier because I used one of our vocab words right away in the title of this slideshow. So on the next slide, we're going to get through all the vocab words and we'll learn about what empathize actually means. Now, of course, like any of our units, we're going to start out with a couple vocab words. So, does anybody want to read our first vocab word for us? Go ahead, Billy. What is it? Composition. You're right. Okay, so it says how things are arranged in a work of art. Now, I have two paintings on the right of our slide right now. They're both the same thing. They're both flowers, the same content. But can somebody tell me what the difference in composition is? What is different about the composition from the one on the right and the left? Exactly, right. We have one vase of flowers that's kind of off of the page, pulled off to the left. That's the really bright one. And then we have the one right in the middle, which is right smack dab in the middle of the painting. All right, can anybody read the next vocab word for me? Go ahead, Johnny. Yep, muted colors. So colors are not as bright and often have more browns and grays. Now, I have my two paintings. Can anybody tell me which one looks like it has more muted colors in it? So not as bright. Go ahead, Jane. What is it? You got it. It's those sunflowers, those white flowers up on the screen. Those ones are definitely a lot more muted. The other painting has really, really bright reds. It almost looks like our color wheel red. Very, very bright. Okay, so can anybody read the next vocab word for us? Go ahead, Jenna. Yep, you're right. It's empathy. So to understand or understanding someone else's feelings. So to empathize with someone, even if it's not us and even if we're not in the same situation as them, it's to still understand how they're feeling about something. Maybe they had a rough day. We didn't have a rough day, but they did. But we can still empathize with them and understand that maybe their day is not going as well as our day is. Okay, so I'm seeing one more vocab word on the screen, and it is context. So it says any additional knowledge that can help us better understand a work of art. So this is a weird example, but I'm going to use it for a second. We have our sunflowers on the screen, and if we just saw that painting, we would just say, oh, that's a still life of sunflowers. Well, let's imagine that the context behind that painting is that the artist lived near a sunflower field, right? They lived near a sunflower field, and this painting is really supposed to be showing you how much they loved living right near a sunflower field, right? The context changes the meaning of the painting now. All right, so we're jumping right into our artist of the day, which is Nancy Rourke. Okay, this is an artist out of Denver, Colorado. She is actually still working today. Okay, so before I say anything else, we have a question up on the screen. It says, what do you first notice about her painting style? Go ahead, Dan. What do you first notice? You're right. She is using lots of bright, bright colors. Not a lot of muted colors at all. Right? No muted colors. I see black, I see white. What are those other three colors? There's only three colors on her paintings. You're right. Those are the primary colors, okay? She is also inspired by Pablo Picasso and the Cubist movement. As you can see, the people in her paintings are a little more simplified, a little more flattened out, using simple, organic, and geometric shapes. We have a painting by Nancy Rourke. It is called Just a Moment. Okay, so on the screen, you can see we have a question. It says, what can you tell me about the composition of this painting? So we see there's some people in the painting. How are they composed? Where are they standing? Go ahead. What do you think? You're right. I see some people in color on the sides of the painting, and I see one looks like a lady in the middle of the painting. She has her arms crossed. She's right smack dab in the middle. Very good. All right, here's kind of a weird question. What if the girl in the middle was also painted in color? What do you think that would change about the painting if the girl in the middle was not in black and white and was painted in color? Go ahead, Michael. What do you think? Oh, you got it, buddy. Exactly. She would almost, you're right. She would look like she's more maybe part of the group. It looks like she's not part of the people in the background, who are all in color. She's just by herself in black and white. She'd look like more a part of the group. All right, we got the big question. What is this painting about? Yep, go ahead. Okay. Oh, that's actually pretty good, right? It looks like maybe she feels like she's left out or alone. That's actually pretty close. You know what? I actually forgot to let you guys know that Nancy Rourke is also deaf. Do you think this changes the meaning of the painting that she's also deaf? Yeah, I think it does too. I think it does, right? Because this actually, I'll give you the answer now. This actually is a painting. She's in the middle, and this is a painting of her coworkers in the background, having fun, having a conversation, and telling her to wait just a moment before they explain to her what they were saying, because of course she can't hear them. She is feeling left out of this painting. Very good. Look at this. Our next painting is our old friend. Who is this? Does anyone remember who this is? You're right. It's Vincent van Gogh. This is a portrait that Vincent van Gogh did, and we're going to try to figure out what is it about. Okay, my first question is, what do you notice about the colors in this painting? Can anybody raise their hand? Excellent. You know what? I love that you used our vocab word, right? It's a little bit muted, right? There's muted colors in it. Very nice observation. All right, how about this question? What do you notice about Van Gogh's facial expression in this painting? Okay, yeah, that's pretty good, right? He maybe is feeling a little bit sad. I could see that in his face too. He's definitely not happy in that painting. You know what? I'm loving this question because you already answered it, right? Not feeling happy in this painting. Nice job. All right, let's not forget that Vincent van Gogh, for a large portion of his life, he was homeless. Now, we can't know for sure looking at this portrait, but we know that he struggled with homelessness, and that could be part of the reason why he is not looking super happy in his painting and why he chose to use muted colors. One thing that we have learned from looking at both of these paintings is that on the screen it says Van Gogh and Rourke had two very different struggles, but used their paintings to let us better understand them. In other words, we learned how to empathize with them through their paintings and through the artistic choices that they made, like the composition, their color choices, like in Nancy Rourke's work and in Van Gogh's work, he's using muted colors. They use those artistic elements to help us better understand how they're feeling. All right, I have one more question about these two artists. So do you think knowing more context about them changes your interpretation of their paintings? So changes your understanding about what these paintings mean? Yep, go ahead. You're right. I think it really does, because in both cases, we didn't know that Nancy Rourke was deaf, and we might not have remembered that Van Gogh was homeless, but knowing those things helps us better understand maybe why they're feeling the way that they're feeling in their painting. And you know what? That translates to our everyday life too. Sometimes you might not know exactly how somebody's feeling until you completely understand maybe what they went through that day or what they are going through at home. You never understand it until you can really sit down and listen closely, just like we've been looking closely at these artworks. All right, one last painting on the screen, and you have your half sheets of paper, and this is these questions I want you to write down on your half sheets of paper, okay? I'm gonna give you the context, and you're gonna tell me what emotions you see in this painting, okay? So at the top, it says, this painting is by Picasso about the Spanish War, okay? So it's about a war. So I just told you the first question. What emotions do you see? And the second question is, what art techniques make you think that? So what did Picasso use in his painting to make you feel the way that you're feeling about these people?